Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video from me that you're seeing, welcome. Today, I am working on a build that's just for my save file personally. It's a huge family build. There's one infant, 3 toddlers, 2 teens, and a mom. It's a lot. It's really chaotic. This build took quite some time to renovate this huge shell, which is actually a little Simsy shell. I think it's on the gallery as like unfurnished large home or something. It might be on the screen there. But I love it. It's just a really nice solid shell to work with. Sometimes when I'm doing a build, I'm like, I cannot be bothered to make the shell of this. It's not part of it that's like, that gets me excited when I wake up in the morning. Anyway, before I get too ahead of myself, I would love it if you would take a moment to like this video if you enjoy it, or dislike it if you hate it. I don't know. It's all good for engagement. So, and if you're interested in seeing more speed builds and other Sims 4 content, you can subscribe right down below. Because this is a build that's just for me, it's a lot of my favorite colors. It's kind of the style that I enjoy personally. Although I was trying to make it like really cohesive across the whole build, so it kind of like looked similar. And then for some reason, I do a nursery toward the end of this build that you'll see. And for some reason, I just totally went off script there. Everything was like this blue, neutral theme. And then I was like, I'm going to do like pink and yellow. Just 'cause. Once again, it's my save file. It's my build. I like to make my builds that are for myself, like highly functional, so that my Sims aren't as dumb when they try and, be part of the simulation and all that. So yeah, if this build seems a little bit different than my other builds, that's definitely because I approach it with a different eye when I'm making it for my gameplay versus a build that I can just go full force creative and might have some stuff that, you might have to adjust, or like a lot of extra clutter that maybe when people download the builds, they remove. But I personally, with builds in The Sims, especially when you put them on the gallery, I think there's nothing wrong with going a little overboard. People don't have packs. There's, random decorations people don't like. So I think it gives you a chance to be able to have a wide range of choices. All right, now that we have moved on from the kitchen, we are starting the first bedroom. I realized later I made this bedroom for a child, but that Sim aged up between the time that I started this and the family moved in. So I did swap out some of the items in this room specifically just to make it a little bit more logical and helpful for a teenage Sim. Obviously, that activity table is going to do no good for your teen Sim. Can we just have a quick moment to discuss how weird the pear and apple photos are in this game? The most common clutter. Who wants a pear? A framed photo of a pear on their desk? I don't know. But this Sim got it for a second, and then you can see there I removed it because I was like, that's a fucking pear in a child's room in a frame, and I don't think I'm okay with that, honestly. Hey, moving on to my favorite room in this build. I am obsessed with this toddler's room. I made it this like underwater theme, which I've never done. I've never used this wallpaper that is so stinking cute. And I was like, 3 toddlers, goodness gracious, how do I make you a room? But I think this turned out. I'm really happy with it. It's very functional. It's very easy to move about. I wasn't concerned about if my move objects was doing what it supposed to do. But yeah, I had a lot of fun cluttering this room up and just kind of creating a story about these kids in my head and sort of how they came to all 3 agree on this aesthetic for their bedroom with their mom. If you're stuck on a build or you're feeling uninspired, I think creating a backstory and like strengthening your Sims lives can help you figure out what you need in your space or how you might decorate it better. Yeah, that's just something I've found useful when I've been trying to get new build inspiration or, coming up with a video idea. Sometimes you just get stuck. We play The Sims so much that maybe we feel like we're out of all of our ideas. So that's just one way to kind of get out of that rut, I guess. That works especially well for kids' rooms, I think, too, because you can think really outside of the box with it. Like maybe the kids in those rooms like love swimming and like that's the sort of they're working toward the motor skill and eventually they're gonna like live in Sulani. Like you can come up with all sorts of stories and be super elaborate in this game. And here I'm moving on to work on the main bedroom. It's a little bit more of a moody, dark room, which felt like a good contrast to the rest of the house being super bright and super cheery. I wanted something to have just a little bit of diversity, I guess, in this build. Or maybe realistically, this is my coming out as a former emo kid who really enjoys moody spaces rather than super cheery bright ones. Hey. Which reminds me, I didn't get the high school years pack until a little bit after it came out. I was on like simming hiatus and it just passed by me. So I got it on discount. But one thing I never got to do with that pack was make like a super emo kids room. I think that would be really fun. Definitely very nostalgic for me, I think. There's an alternate universe where I am still an emo kid. That's a funny concept for a build. Like building the dream house that you as a child would have loved. I don't know if I would do a full emo house. I don't think there was ever a time where I felt that way, but certainly I wanted my room to look like that. So I think it could be a fun experiment to be like, let's make an emo house. Let's make a space that Gerard Way would be proud of for us. If you are a My Chemical Romance lover, I highly suggest you head over to the comments section down below and share your love because I'll be hype. And I'll know that you're a real one because you watched this far through the video and you love My Chem. Now, you'll see that this room has a pretty big room immediately next to it that attaches by this little door. So my idea with that space was that there was a big built-in closet for the space when they moved in, but they didn't expect to have a kiddo. So instead of having that space be a closet, I made it into like the world's tiniest little nursery that's inside the mom's bedroom. I'm not a parent, and to be honest, I don't spend that much time around parents of young kids, but I do think this sort of arrangement is something that people do. They like to have their kids' nursery pretty close by them just because it's easier, but maybe not. I don't know. If you're a parent, comment down below. Would this drive you crazy, or is this kind of a convenient idea? Like I mentioned earlier in the build, I really had a theme going for this house, this like blues and teals and light browns. You obviously can see it. And then for whatever reason, I completely either forgot I was doing that or just stopped being interested in it. I don't know what happened, but I was like, it's gonna be pink and yellow. Sure, fine. Anyway, I do like how this one turned out. One of my favorite features in it is that I was able to use those high school years like lit up curtains, which I think were like kind of intended for prom, which is like also very cute, but I love putting them over beds, and I've never put one in like a nursery or a toddler room to my recollection. So I thought it fit really well in here, and it definitely paired well with that big kids curtain that came in the Growing Together pack. So was pretty pleased with that because I'm always trying to figure out ways to reinvent nurseries since honestly, surprisingly, I feel like there aren't that many ways to recreate a nursery. So that was good. And now I'm moving on to this living room space where there's a TV and this great little couch. And we also have like a little bit of a library space. I really love the very natural, calm vibes of this living room. I think it's nice to have kind of like a muted and maybe slightly darker space for when you're watching a movie and stuff. Kind of gives the right ambiance. So this was really precious, I think. I definitely imagine that this space would be really good for family movie nights, or maybe after everybody's gone to bed, someone just wants to stay up reading for a while, so they can have this nice little library reading nook over on the side. Oh boy, I also just want to take a second to thank all of the new viewers for watching, liking the content, commenting, subscribing. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful for everything that is to come for this channel and seeing all of the ideas that I have kind of manifest in my content. So thank you again, and I definitely won't let you down. And just a reminder, I put my builds on the gallery. Basically, more or less every build I make, stuff that is content for YouTube and builds that are just for my save file. My EA ID is down in the description box below, and you can download this for yourself. And now that we're finishing up the living room with a little bit more art and some clutter, we'll be moving on to the last room of the house, which is one of the teen bedrooms. I love this room. It actually reminds me of one of my childhood bedrooms, and I tried to go with a little bit of a theme here, that it was sort of a kid who's a bit of a gamer. Again, this is based on a family that I have in my save files, so you'll see some gaming equipment and some decor that kind of gives you that vibe. And with that, we are pretty much done with this huge family home renovation. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!